Hi, my name is Ty Tush. I'm a senior digital cinema student here at John Brown University, and today I'm going to be doing a director's commentary for one of my personal projects called Film Boy. This was a project that did fairly well for me, made it into quite a few festivals, won Best Student Film at the Tulsa American Film Festival back in 2018.
I've always wanted to do a director's commentary, so this is kind of a dream come true for me, so I hope you all will enjoy this as much as I know I will. Alright, here we go. The poster in the middle there, at the very top, that's a screen grab from the film I made right before this, and it's a picture of me carrying a chair across a field. That has nothing to do with this film or the commentary, I just wanted to point that out. So Film Boy, I had the idea for maybe a year before we made this, and the inspiration behind Film Boy was I wanted to show people, my friends and family especially, what it's like to be a student filmmaker, what it's like to be a filmmaker just starting out, and kind of the problems you face because you don't have the money or the resources or the experience really to kind of do exactly the vision you have in your head, which can be very frustrating and disheartening at times. Originally Film Boy was supposed to be a film told within 4 vignettes, one being Film Boy showing his friends the script, the second one being him finding the actor or actress that would play him, and the third one being him casting the rest of the actors at an audition, and the fourth one was supposed to be them trying to film. Originally, the reason I had to cut the 3 parts out was just because it didn't really work in the cut, and also the class I was taking at the time, the professor heard that my rough cut was 45 minutes long and said, that's too much, maybe cut it down like a trailer or something. And I really didn't want to do that, and realizing that kind of it didn't work in the cut, because the first 3 vignettes were very static. They were camera on sticks, locked down, not a whole lot of movement. It really didn't work with this last one. And with the last one being done all in one take, a lot of movement, kind of being the climax of the film, I thought it was best just to have this part, the 4th vignette, as the whole film itself. And I think that works for a few reasons. Kind of being all done in one take is a little gimmicky, I'll admit. I was very inspired by Birdman, by Alejandro Iñárritu. I love that movie, and so a lot of the inspiration for this kind of came from that, with both them being done in one take, or at least his looking like his was all done in one take, and kind of being about an actor. I drew a lot of inspiration from that. I also think it works because the actors have a real background to them. Their characters have a real background, because even though we don't as an audience see it, there were, maybe 30 minutes of story that we filmed before this, where they interacted with each other, where they talked to each other, they learned about this film, they went through hardships, they had arguments, they laughed together. So I feel like there's some chemistry there, even though we don't see it, because of that, which is not an effective or efficient way to make a film, but it just so happened to work for me in this particular case. I also think it works because it kind of follows the rule of coming in late and leaving early, and kind of keeping the audience on their toes. We're like, all right, what's going on? What's happening? This is one of my favorite shots right here, where I just go down through the grates. I was wearing bright red tennis shoes at the time, so I was very careful not to let those get in the shot. In terms of equipment that I was using, it was really just my Panasonic GH4, which is a DSLR. I was very proud of it because it could shoot in 4K. But it's just that on top of a cheap shoulder rig that I bought from Amazon and a shotgun mic on top of that. So I basically set the focus at the beginning of the take and then didn't adjust it at all and just kind of kept my distance away from the actors and tried my best to keep them in focus that way, which is not the right way to do it at all. But really, it was me and the actors, basically. And then with the audio, I had headphones in, and I just tried to, point the camera at them, and the camera was pointed at them. I knew the mic was pointed at them, and hope for the best. I did have one other crew member with me. His name is Ben Ford. He was my assistant director, and basically his main job was to prep the other room that I wasn't in before we went into it. So right now I'm in the black box. So Ben is in the kind of dressing room with the actors, making sure they know what's about to happen, changing anything that needs to be changed in there. And then when I move into that room, he runs back into the black box to help Kurt set up anything else that needs to be set up in there. So he was a big help. He was actually also the one who suggested we do this scene all in one take. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to kind of follow the previous 3 scenes where it's very static, not a lot of movement. But he suggested that I think 3 or 4 days before we filmed, and I couldn't get the idea out of my head. I liked it too much, and so we ended up doing that, and I think it turned out really, really well. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, whether it's from making this film or any other film, is there are going to be so many problems, whether they're little minuscule annoyances or something like the camera just won't turn on. And as a filmmaker, no matter what role you're in, you're going to have those problems show up in your department, just with whatever you're doing, and you have to be able to not only problem solve, but keep a cool head, and just maintain kind of the mindset of, alright, stuff's going to happen, but we have to overcome this. I have to, figure this out. I was working on a film over the summer last year, and one of the guys I was working with, it was quite a big production that came to town, and so he has quite a few experiences working on film sets and doing construction for them. But I always remember the one thing he told me, and the one big takeaway I had from that experience was, making a film is hard, and sometimes you just have to toughen up, power through, and then there are other times where you have to, let yourself scream. You have to let yourself cry, because making a film is hard. But no matter what, you always have to push through. You always have to keep going. And I think this whole film itself, not just what we're about to see, really conveys that. I can't tell you how many times I've felt like that, whether it's been one of my own films or working on someone else's film. Just the need to kind of, go off and scream. But at the end of the day, I still love filmmaking. After we got done filming this, me and Ben, the guy who was my assistant director, I think we stood outside in the parking lot complaining about all the problems and troubles with filmmaking that we've gone through. And then after about an hour, I looked at him and was like, I love it though. Like I want to do this the rest of my life. And he was like, oh, I agree completely.
It sounds cool. Fair enough.
So yeah, making films is weird. You know, it's hard work. You gotta put a lot in. But I mean, like anything in life, the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out.
Scene one, take one.
And hopefully at the end of the day, you have something you're really proud of and something that's very special to you.
And
This has been my director's commentary for my short film, Film Boy. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about the film or the JBU cinema program, please, get in contact with me or one of the professors. We'd love to answer your question, help you out. Thank you again so much for listening and for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.